Somebody said it.
Hello, hello. Who said, hey, Victor? I always say, shut up, Thomas, or I'll beat you up again. Oh, great. Thanks, dude. All right, right on. I'll get closer to you guys here. How were they? Were they pretty good?
Yeah!
Yeah, awesome. The Jason here, who talked to me, she'll kick you out. Just kidding. I heard some of you guys are from another school from here. Awesome. Any of you guys actors? Yeah, I see. Any of you want to be actors? Yeah? Awesome. Well, I was talking to a few people that are from this community, and what I'm doing currently is for about 12 years I've had a film school called the Adam Beach Film Institute. And the new thing I'm doing now is I'm putting my film school in a high school in Winnipeg. It's okay, they can talk, it doesn't disturb me. In high school, I'm putting in my film school in a place called R.B. Russell, and it's mostly an all-native high school. And when I was in high school, that was my favorite school that I couldn't go to. And I'd skip school just to go hang out with my friends over there. It's a vocational school, so you learn trades, music, carpentry, auto, and all that. But their school's theater department is shut down. So I went to check it out, and I offered my school to be there. But what I'm doing is not just teaching and training, is that after we do, during the 12-week semester of training, sometime in that training, we're going to build a movie set. And I gave them one of my show ideas. It's a children's show called Bindigan. And in this show, it's created after my grandmother. And we're going to build the section of her house where she would teach me and show me and tell me stories. And in this TV show is a knock on the door would come in, she'd say, Bindigan, and offer tea and stuff. But the person coming in, adult, youth, young one, they have an issue to deal with. And there's a window behind my grandmother, and in that window comes the 7 teachings and puppets. So I gave them a school, like this auditorium, they're going to build a set. And the set design of the house will be on stage. And basically after the TV show is done, we're going to put it on YouTube. So all of you can watch the show that we created on YouTube. And I'm creating a documentary for it also. But also I'm going to try to stream it live. And I heard you guys have a good system up here that you guys can, bring into class and watch what we're doing. And a couple of seconds, hold on. And but the important thing that I'm doing is this creative process I'm doing with this school is for every school in the world to access and to understand that your school can become a production company, a teaching and training, but also a studio system. And that's what I told the school is after we're done this show and teaching and training, you officially have become a studio. So one of the things I want to do personally is I want to make a hockey movie. And I was talking to Jason, and I've wanted to make a hockey movie for like 20 years. And meeting Jason has really inspired me to do this quickly. And I was like, you go around traveling everywhere, who has the best arena? And he said, this place.
We do.
Oh, there he is. So one of these days I'll be coming back with Jason, and and some other players and stuff, and we're gonna shoot a hockey film. So I'm hoping that you guys could take the time to watch this show and see what you're capable of. We're selecting 15 students in the school division, and you're going to watch them learn everything about what it is about filmmaking. Being a filmmaker is not difficult. Being a filmmaker is about dreaming, about imaginative circumstances, and believing in yourself, and creating a spark that we all, as youth in school, are trying to find. You know when you meet someone that you like, and you're like, oh, that person is cute or good looking, or you guys talk about that person, that's the start of a spark. But the spark I'm trying to inspire you is that spark you grow up to find your occupation, you find your dream, your work experience, etc. Now a lot of you are going to stick to the spark of just starting a family and staying at home, being on the res, but some of you will have to get a job. Getting a job is one of the hardest things as an adult. How many of you know the age of a young adult when you're considered an adult? Do you guys know that yet? Yeah? What's the age? 25 years old. So you are a kid until you're 25. How crazy is that? So you have till 25 to figure out what it is you want to be in your career. And after 25, you have to live in our world of where do we buy our food, what car am I going to drive, what house, where I'm going to live. Did you know that you can live anywhere in the world? You can live in Romania, you can live in Paris, you can live in New Zealand. New Zealand's the best country I've ever been in. I felt like I belonged there because that country emerged indigenous with everything in that country. So if I was to be here in New Zealand and I was doing a presentation as a New Zealander, I would be speaking the Maori language first. Every school in New Zealand has to learn the Maori language. And that's one of the things that I hope that your school here can find out your language and how you're going to implement it. So I was talking to one of the traditional teachers out here. I've been looking for a culture camp. They don't have that yet. They have a culture camp, but I'm calling it, I'm looking for a language culture camp. And I'm Anishinaabe. So I'm looking for an Anishinaabe camp. But I'm looking for a Cree camp too, because part of our language is immersed with the Cree, the Ojibwe Cree. So when we talk, we mix each other's language. So for me, it's important to find a Cree linguistics also. And so I hope you guys can really immerse to try to find your place in the industry. I'm only talking to you about my experience. I'm not here to save you. I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm here to inspire you to find your place and your path. Some of you will finish school, some of you won't. Some of you will be hockey players, some of you will be lawyers, some of you will be in jail, some of you guys will deal drugs, some of you guys will be part of a system. When I talk to people who don't know who we are, the image of us is not nice. They think all Indians are alcoholics and drug addicts. They don't have homes. And that's the truth. I'm only here to talk to you about the truth. Now, when they hear me talk and they hear about my growing up, when I was living with heroin addicts and I was in gangs and I was an actor at the same time, and I come from a family of alcoholics who aren't alcoholics anymore, but some of them still are, the younger generation. My brother, years ago, say it's not our fault, it's because for 200 years, we have been put in a situation that when you speak your language, you smack. If you speak it again, they tie you up. You speak it again, you don't listen like a good little Indian, you're in the basement. So if you think about the atrocity we had to deal with as children 200 years ago, think about that. We've been in a situation for 200 years to not be in youth, to not to listen to the authority. So as a younger generation, it's a privilege for me to talk to you because I would never want to see you guys live the life I lived as a young teenager. But what I want you to see is the ability to turn your life around, to make certain dreams and aspirations that nobody ever, there is not one person that I knew in my life as a teenager when I said I wanted to be an actor who believed in me. And in my 20s, they would still laugh at me. When are you going to quit? You're not going to make it. And even my first wife tried to get me to quit to become a cop because acting was just not something we do. But because I love what I do and because what I lost as an 8-year-old, my parents died when I was 8 years old, I was not going to let anybody ever take anything away from me ever again. So my brothers, my cousins, my stepfathers, my uncles, they would laugh when I'd perform in tights pretending I was a storm with a white ribbon jumping around. Adam, you're stupid. You know what I mean? But for me, I was in my element. For me, I was learning to be something else. I'm Victor, yeah. Thomas? In the movies? Okay. In the movies, in real life, Thomas is probably the most important First Nation doctor in Canada. He travels the world speaking about Indigenous medicine. No, when he was kids, there was kid actors, and they had to fake punching each other and stuff. Yeah, so, but no. He's a good friend of mine. I'm glad that he became a doctor, because my first movie that I wanted to be in, they gave it to him. I was 16 years old, and I was so angry. And I told him at the end of that movie, I said, congratulations, but the next time we're in a movie together, you're going to work for me. And when he decided to be a doctor, when we were doing smoke signals, that's when he said, you know, Adam, I'm getting to the age that it's too late if I don't be a doctor now. And I said, you should, you're really smart. And really, I was saying, I hope you do, because I don't have to compete with him for any movies. So I would take his movies. Yeah. Dance Me Outside, yeah. My favorite movie I've ever done is called Dance Me Outside. I played Frank Fenspost. And, yeah. Oh, in Smoke Signals, you guys have to understand, when you watch that movie, it is a true depiction of my life. When I was doing that movie, I didn't know how much that movie meant to me. And every day I would reflect about my father who drowned 2 months after my dad and my mom died. And for that whole movie, that's all I was thinking. I was emotionally distraught. And everybody would be like, you okay, Adam? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just getting in character. But I couldn't help because Victor was supposed to look for his dead father. Victor wanted to talk to his father one last time. Victor had questions about his father. He hated his father for drinking. He loved his father for just being there. And that's what I wish to this day. I wish that door can open and my father comes in and says, that's me every day. That's what I dream of. And I can't because they're gone. So if all of you guys have parents, you know, good or bad parents, it's a physical person there that you can be emotional to. You can say, I hate you, I love you. And that's more valuable than not having them around. So for me, Victor in Smoke Signals, that's truly who I am. When he was throwing bottles at the truck, that's what I did in anger. And then we take the bottles, the